fear. We're done with the bronze tiers for Mar. We're back to the Timber Saw. And also, one thing I wanted to point out from Hustlers and their drafting, is an 18th Marana that value of a pick when you have second pick? 18th, I feel like you see these scary, oh, that's a nice pick, oh, that's great. But then they just opened up with a Marana.
Yeah, it has some promise. It's not the best in this particular game as far as like setups. You do have a Spirit Breaker, but you have a lot of weird interactions for arrow. Like a random bash might happen and you might miss it, or you have to time your arrow with the Nether Strike. Same with the Aether Remnant, not the longest stun duration. So looking up to Hakoda a lot on hitting some pretty skill-based arrows here. But if you can land them, this hero is always good for that reason.
Could just be the lockdown that they were lacking in that game number 1. They did, of course, have the Techies tool on their side this time. It will be played out on Quest. But let's see if this Marana pulls off to be what it's supposed to be. The Violama did not have the best laning stage either with the Darkseer in that last game, but maybe that extra bit of oomph with the right clicks might just come in handy from Hakoda. Help out the Violama get himself a good laning stage, because that's really what they want and what they need, because TA2000, game 1 shut down, game 2 uncontested.
And I think game 3, he's also going to be uncontested here. I'm not sure if you can apply a lot of pressure as a Darkseer to a Morphling. But we'll have to see what he can do here. But you are a ranged hero, so you're not going to be taking the Ion Shell, too much of the Ion Shell damage. And as most Morph games go, just need a couple levels and he'll be nigh unkillable in this top lane here.
There's a very big point that there will be playing out as well for Azantec. Maybe there wasn't too much lore behind the double ones. Maybe it was just a misbuy instead. We'll see if he decides to take that route again here in game number 3. I highly doubt it, but if he does, we see a storyline building up in terms of those stacked up magic ones.
We'll have to see. I'm very curious as well. Logically, it does not make any sense. It is 3 stats for 500 gold. You could just buy a crown if you want the stats.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could just do
and
that.
Get more of them for your price. So probably a misclick, unless he's like.
Maybe he's a man who defies reason.
Well, good luck winning with that type of logic. I don't believe in math. Math is fake.
He's playing pretty deep here with this Spirit Breaker, contesting against TA2000 between the Tier 1 and Tier 2 towers. Making sure that this Darkseer is uncontested for the time being. The Violama should be hitting level 2 with relative ease. But of course, we do see Amar back with the Timber Saw. Going back to his classic hero pool, he was successful with one of the bronze tier heroes out of the 2. But let's see if when he goes back to Supreme Comfort, can he come up with against this
2 bronze heroes? What do you mean?
I dare say I didn't actually look at his Slark.
Oh, that was gold, my friend.
That was gold. Okay, so gold and bronze, and now going to the the purples.
I mean, gold and bronze are similar hue, I suppose, of color.
Shad taking some early poke here from the Techies and the Timber. One of the good things about this Timber Saw is, of course, at some stage of a game, if you have a good start for yourself, you have a lot of extra farm to go with, that second Chakram. We've seen how devastating it can be against even against heroes like Medusa. It just burns through that mana pool super quick.
Yeah, that's what this hero does. Somehow, Timbersaw is the lowest skill, yet one of the highest skill heroes all at the same time. Like, the laning stage is probably the lowest skill thing ever, right? You just get reactive armor, you buy this vitality booster, but later on in the game, you have, like, 5 buttons to press with double chakrams. Every decision you make for which timber chain you're going to use becomes very difficult to play, which is really fun to watch. And I think in this matchup specifically, you have Amar, notoriously known for his Timbersaw, overall first pick of the game, but you also have Azantec on the other side, who loves this hero. So this hero is super contested for this series, and we get to see it in one of the games at least, and we get to see why is this hero so contested between them,
and also why was it let through in the draft in the first place. Maybe one of the top lane, Kaori, gonna get bashed up, but has the regeneration going on his way, and T2000 will get the first kill on Theoliker and Violama.
That's a blood grenade too.
A lot of damage coming through. No way for him to get close to the Darkseer, so he will live to see another day. But that's going to be first blood going for Quest.
We saw the Morphling in game number 1. It didn't really work out. He had a really difficult laning stage, dying multiple times. Completely different story here. He's off to a really good start with the first blood. Now at the top of net worth, free farming on the Morphling, and we're going to see a completely different Morph vs Medusa matchup in this one.
Oh, for sure. Even the CS is telling a story here. You got a triple CS lead going in the way of Quest. All of the lanes going pretty swell in their favor. Even if there is Theoliker, who's picked up 8 CS to kind of buffer up the amount they've been able to come up with in the top lane for D1 Hustlers. No big detrimental marks on either side yet. Fairly even. See how long that lasts.
I think with all Timbersaw lanes, we're going to be chilling until he's level 6. Mid lane, I think you just mentioned it, the 6-minute runes will be a point of contention, and plus, whenever you get your ultimates up, the Rolling Thunder, the Astral Step, you kind of want those abilities before you start making things happen on the map as a mid laner, preferably with a rune too. But top lane, I think, is one where it might get a little spicy. Both teams want to trade a bit. I think if you are the Hustlers, though, you want to make things happen, but I'm afraid you just can't anymore in this top lane. With this first blood, treads are available for TA2000. I think pressuring is no longer an option.
And of course the 6-minute rune, which is going to be important for either of these mid laners to pick up. I feel like Quest might have a tiny advantage with it. The Morphling is doing pretty good in the lane, like you already said. And of course this Timbersaw can just, you know, he can just be left in this lane. I don't think he minds too much about the poke that's coming in, because it's going to mitigate majority of that versus the Medusa. So maybe Quest is able to get that rune, but if D1 Hustlers are able to snatch it with 3 heroes from Quest and mid, that could be a big win for them. They're also rotating heroes are going to be battling in a couple seconds. Noob heading towards the top half at Xantic. Still sticking around in the lane. Rolling Thunder has been forced. There's a haste rune, and he almost gets it, but Amar's going to be stealing it from him and looking for the kill. He actually gets the connection. All right. So that haste rune is nullified and leads into a kill for Xantic, and Hakoda leaps to the high ground and gets to live too.
Pretty good overall for Xantic there. Like, the haste was taken, but I don't think he minds too much. He gets a kill out of it. So mission accomplished there.
They pay off for Quest. Indeed. At Xantic. He is down a half HP, and Amar, he's back up. 3 seconds for blast off. The Theoliker's trying to keep him at bay. This Spirit Breaker looks like he's gonna die. Maybe they can get at Xantic as a collateral with that blast off being available, but he's just gonna dodge it with the Astral Step, and Amar might just be the one to get caught. However, Hakoda gonna go full on with the chase, gets the kill. At Xantic solo and HP, and the mine's gonna help out. Make sure Kaori is gonna be picking that one off, so it is going to be a 2-for-1 trade-off in favor for Quest.
At least Kaori does not have the wisdom glaives available, so he didn't lose his intelligence.
Wisdoms of glaive.
Yeah, that's the one. Or however you call it. But either way, good event there for Quest to be able to apply that pressure, get the kill back onto a Xantic there. And Wisdom rune. Speaking of wisdom, we got the runes out, and Diakor is going to just steal one out. And if they can get the other one on top of it, good series event for the Hustlers, as the laning stage is not going the greatest for them at this current point in time.
Yeah, they started off well with the early minutes, but they were kind of expected to do pretty good at the very beginning versus Medusa versus the Darkseer. But D1 Hustlers, they've got a lot of capability, a lot of potential in this draft to kind of just bounce back in and fight back. But Amar is getting contested. Level 6 under the tower, going to be dropping fairly low, and a bash coming in from Theoliker. That's a really good one. Can he get another? Slowed up by the Chakra, might actually die. Amar really wants this kill, and Shat just poking away, but 20 reactive armor stacks. A lot of regeneration for Amar, and Shat can't just burst through him. Going for the snake play, maybe giving vision for the charge. He's got to be careful with this Timbersaw. Got to be careful with that.
If he times the Whirling Death, he could potentially kill him.
Yes.
Before he gets bashed.
And Quest, while that was happening, they get themselves a free mid tower, and Amar does go down. So Hakoda, they bring in the third hero for the kill, but that does come at a cost of a T1 tower in mid.
And potentially a Xantic here too.
Okay, surprising
Can they
the Void
chain
Spirit.
stone?
Can they stunlock him? Yes, they can. No, they can't. Oh, the silence coming out as well. Kaori potentially getting the kill here. One more tick should do. And Amar, I'll take it.
Amar will definitely take it. Got the mid-tier 1 enemy mid laner. They had to bring 3 heroes for that.
Support tax.
Still a good kill, but...
Your pause
What
4,
can
you
they
take
do
it away
here?
from your 5.
There you go. And this Morphling, man, he's having a dream game right now. To be out farming Medusa is exactly where you want to be if you are TA2000 right now.
And maybe even a kill
And
on
one?
top. Is he going to push himself to number 1? Kaori gets the kill, but yep, he's going to be leading net worth now for the time being with that assist gold picked up on a level 7 Darkseer kill. But now Hustler smoking up Hakoda and Xantic heading towards the bottom lane, maybe to bait with the Medusa, potentially to find a roaming support. They also know the Noob's not in mid. And I believe they've also scouted out his movements with these wards, and the charge is going to come through. Pango, no Rolling Thunder, only has the Swashbuckle, gets cancelled out by the Remnant. They're going to force out the Global Silence, but the bash coming in from the Theolikor, and Noob's going to go down, and Xantic will get the kill. They used everything to try and get him out there with the Globals. He tried to Swashbuckle away, but he got caught by the Remnant at the same time, so he moved nowhere.
Bit unlucky there, plus that 17% bash at the end there.
Yeah,
That
talking
little
about
bit of
unlucky.
extra damage that they needed. So
Double unluck.
maybe a bit of monitor punching after that one we'd have to see, but I would be a little upset if that were to happen to me.
And we kind of talked about D1 Hustlers when they were back as D2 Hustlers. They were a very emotion-driven team, especially in Tour 1. It's more about Dalai Lama's character instead of the whole team just being kind of offset and upset. Of course, the roster has changed a lot since the start of the DPC, but usually he's the guy who might just be, popping off with his emotions, being very frantic on the camera.
Yeah.
Had some good
What we
highlights.
saw after they won game number 1, he was the one doing most of the celebrations. And is that an upgrade or a downgrade from going from D2 to D1 Hustlers?
I mean, the smaller the number, right? Priority rises.
Yeah. I guess so. So they evolved.
Well, they need to evolve into a victory at least. Still sitting 0-3. Potentially losing this series would mean that D1 Hustlers is potentially closer to facing elimination. They can't really keep up with the race with the rest of the team, so a win would be very welcome for them. However, Quest 2-2 would like to solidify their position.
They really want this techie, so...
They really do, and they're going to make sure Omar is pulled back, but he's just going to blast off away, and here comes TA2000, and that's a warning signal. Dalai Lama's like, go, go, go. I don't care. Charge coming in with like half of the movement speed he wants to have, and Dalai Lama's still going to go for Omar. And he's going to attempt, maybe, to look for a deny. Bloody blocks with the Iron Shell. Beautiful moves, but
He's still not dead.
going to be able to walk out. Omar! No, look at the guy's face. No emotion. He's here to play.
I would say that would be Space God, but unfortunately, Morph was with him that entire way. And he did save him, to be fair. So, either
Make
way,
them doubt.
Darkseer wasting a lot of time here. Out of mana, low net worth.
If Theolikor didn't turn around, maybe he would have died. But it is a bit of an if situation. We won't get to see that. However, a hero will survive. And the early Diffusal Blade up on the Pango, so Noob's going to be able to pump up that extra damage for these engagements. And they gotta, I feel like Quest, they don't really need to force themselves, but they could. I mean, they're a bit ahead. They're hitting the timings pretty nicely here. They've got the damage advantage before D1 Hustlers can fight back, and they're targeting Shad. They're going straight towards bottom for the Medusa. Beautiful scan, though.
And he is out.
Bye-bye. No, Medusa
Yeah, they've
to be
taken
found.
different approaches to the drafts here. In game number 1, this Medusa, I talked about they had nothing against them, but they just lost with Medusa against the Pango. They're playing versus the Pango again. Morphling, not going to build into Diffusal as of now, which I think is totally fine. Because I think this Pango is oh, he does have it. Just kidding. Just completely just on the courier.
Yeah.
So they have double Diffusal now.
I was looking at the Oliker. He shoveled himself a kobold, who then picked up the sticky bomb, and the kobold just died to it.
Oh, that is
All
sad.
right.
That's my GPM.
my GPM.
My GPM taken away from me. It is sad. I'm just very curious to see if this Medusa is going to work for Sapango. This Pango seems like so far a really good answer. It has the mana burn. It has the constant disarms eventually when it gets the items.
Morph being the second one, but the global silence. They want this Amar kill, but that global silence is going to buy some time. And Kaori Noob's also on his way.
Beep,
Targeting the Void Spirit. Beep, beep. As the Pango's coming in, and that ult's going to run out, but he does get a connection with the shield crash, and the Nether Strike as well, pushing him around into an arrow stun, and Noob's going to go down. Then we'll get the trade-off from that Spirit Breaker. However, TA2000 also in the action. Chance coming in with the TP, so the Medusa's going to be joining in the fight, and potentially getting a kill off with a Silencer. So make it a 2-for-1 trade, but that is pretty good for the Hustlers, because they were able to lock down very nicely with the Nether Strike into the arrow. Get the Pango out of the way.
You should have saw where Noob casted that Rolling Thunder. He casted it like before the bounty rune. So he pretty much used the whole duration just to get to Quest. Or sorry, get to the Hustlers. And it just ran out right in front of the tower, and he got punished really hard for that. Overextending a bit, not a bit, way too much there. Feeling a little bit unstoppable and getting punished.
So some big stacks being farmed up by Amar and TA2000. Making progress
towards... Yep, I'll take all those.
Yep. Making progress towards the Lincolns for TA2000, and Timber already having an Octarine core. A very capable brawler on this Timber Saw, and also when he hits that level 12, probably from this or the next creep wave, this Timber is going to be dishing out a hell of a lot of damage, plus the double diffusals that they have on the side of Quest. You're going to be really scared as Hustlers for the next few minutes.
For sure, but it looks like Amar is just content and just farming.
Meanwhile, the Hustlers are the ones to take the fight. Arrow misses because of the charge, but doesn't matter. Kill is a kill.
Yeah, and Amar, it looks like he really just wants to get into either that Kaya or the Sage. We'll see which one he wants to pick up first. I would imagine probably the Kaya, so he can just keep his farm running.
Well, they will get themselves both supports. Chasing down Amar right after the Silencer was picked off. Getting a D-ward, controlling the triangle for a moment.
As you can notice from Quest, like they've just were too low resources to fight. And the Hustlers, they're ready. They want to fight. They had the rune, but they are farming pretty efficiently. That is the thing. You are getting these kills. They do matter quite a bit, especially for the supports to get more gold and the mid laner there to continue snowballing.
And
However,
I think that's
you're still doing good to farm.
I think that's one of the perks for Quest as well, that they do rely on that farming speed above anything else and control the map through that. Well, T1 Hustlers feel like they just want to push the advantage. Quest, though, stacking up. Everybody is brought to the fight that never starts.
And it comes down to, yet again, one of these games where you have some super hard carry as the top of the net worth for the Radiant, but the next 3 cores pretty evenly distributed from Quest. Will Medusa be able to outscale these 3 cores? Because Darkseer, it's going to be inevitable. He's going to fall off again. Especially with his build, it doesn't farm too much with the
Medusa
Vessel.
Targeted. Let's see what they can do this time with the Blink Stun onto the Medusa. Shat's gonna need a hell of a lot of help, but can she get it in time? At least the Morphling stunned up under the tower. Global Silence coming out as well, so TA2000 should be able to move away with that Dissimilate, turning into the Void Spirit, but still controlled. The charge coming in, and the Nether Strike's gonna finish off TA2000, and Amar is gonna be the next one. It's gonna be very costly on the side of Quest. D1 Hustlers, take 1, take 2, take 3, as Kaori's gonna be dropping 2. And they came to the rescue of the Medusa, and it's successful.
It just feels like impatience from Quest here. Like, I do respect the fact that the Hustlers here are reacting really well, but these last 2 fights were pretty much just Quest overextending, fighting underneath these towers without abilities ready. I guess they overestimated how much damage they had for this Medusa, but you're fighting into a glyph. You're fighting behind that tier 2 tower there. It's just not going to work out the way you want it to.
Another hero
now you're bleeding
dead.
more kills.
Nope.
TPs are coming.
There's a Centaur in between, but no AI stun coming in. Spiritbreaker almost dies as well as a turnaround from the damage that they were able to deal out. So he's still going to go die in his own peace, in his own freedom. Quest, though, still sticking around. Xantic coming in. He's got that invulnerability rune leading the charge.
Now you're calling it invulnerability rune too.
It is. That's what it is. Yeah. I'm sold.
No point denying it. It is what it is. But at least he used most of it to just get a silencer kill. It's always the worst when you get that rune and nobody wants to mess with him, so he's just walking around for a full minute and a half and just cannot be touched. So Kaori doing God's work there, just sacrificing himself to get rid of that rune. Worth. And speaking of his item build as well, that he's changing it up. He went for the Pavus this game. Maybe realizing...
Oh, he doesn't get enough out of that strength game because he's going to be Spirit Vesseled up, and this Morphling he's done for. Does go to the lower ground, but Theolic are going to be chasing him through and finishing off the kill. And there's nothing Quest can do about it. They're just going to have to sack their Morph, who was having such a good game and now dying in these fights. Omar is going to be dropping too. And that's Xantic just being relentless. D1 Hustlers, they found the momentum.
They just hit the kill switch. What the hell happened? Like, they felt like they couldn't do anything for the longest time. They're getting out-farmed. And then all of a sudden, a couple dives from Quest. And then now they're like, hey guys, we are strong. And they're ready to play Dota.
Oh, you do not want to look at win probability into these first 20 minutes, how quickly that shifted. If you thought Quest had a bit of a lead, how much it was showing for them, and now what is showing at the current moment. Oh boy.
This is the biggest lead of the game so far at 5,000 gold. But still anyone's game here.
It's
you do have the heroes.
11%.
That's not great.
It's not great, not terrible. But like Nat said, there's still a chance.
There is a chance. I definitely think it's more than 11%. That's pretty low. They just need to be able to burst Sedusa. If this Sedusa ends up dying one time, this game can look a lot different.
That's a big if.
It is, of course it is, but you got double defusal. Wisdom rune. They found a Mar.
Mar takes it away, okay. Tying it up. Important experience going in the way of Quest. Their supports, Techies is still level 9.
They want to fight here.
Silence is level 10.
To fight.
Trying to get closer at least. The Mar is leading the front. They get the Mirana to TP out. Set at Xantic. The Violama doesn't have a TP right now, so it's just moving around with Shad. And Quest will bite the dust.
Successfully outmaneuvered here. Hustler's doing a really good job. To keep in mind, I think most teams at this point are going to be eyeballing Roshan, which will be on the Radiant side for the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But I think you're just looking for more kills more than anything on the side of the Hustlers here.
Yeah, I mean, they're building Deso on the Void, so that's also a big indicator towards it. You've got Spiritbreaker almost with Shadowblade, Daedalus on the works for Medusa, 22 minutes in. This guy's net worth without a single kill. We talked about how Morphling was ahead of that Medusa some time ago now. They're now almost 5,000 gold, 4,500 gold apart from each other's. And this game is just playing straight into Shad's pockets.
Yeah, a couple deaths later on the Morphling thanks to that Spirit Vessel, and Medusa all the while free farming at a rate that very few heroes can keep up with, and Morphling is not a hero that can flash farm as fast as Medusa. So really hurting his game here. But it's still a good game matchup, but what you really need to happen is you need to find a kill. This is starting to look a lot more like game number 1, where you're not finding that opening for Quest to take the team fights. And if you can't take the team fights, Medusa's going to do what Medusa does. Just take Aegis, walk down lanes, hit your buildings, and then force you to type GG.
And the D1 Hustlers, basically, they have they have nothing to lose in this series because, you know, they're still to look for their opening win. It means so much for them to get that 1 point on the board. And right now it is a big driving force for them. And TA2000 is going to be targeted in mid. The charge will not connect. It was even followed up by the arrow, but they don't go that deep. Amar going to keep Theolicore at bay. We'll get to disengage, but Shad's coming in from a very scary angle. They do not see the Medusa. But what does the rest of the team think about that? They're quite far away. She has Aegis,
it is
though,
Medusa with an Aegis, so I think they're totally fine with this.
Maybe they can use Shad as a bait.
Oh, for sure. But I think Shad doesn't want to find Amar or TA2000. He'd be fine with hitting the Techies, though. But Techies does have reactive taser, so it looks like nothing will happen from that. They're just going to go back, hit that tower in the... Not hit the tower top. They're going to take the top tower.
They're going to take it, yeah.
This will be go down for sure. And I think you're just dodging.
Forced away quest from the top lane. So oh, you're just going to give us this tower? Okay, we'll take it. We're happy with that.
And the question is, they've got like 3 plays from here. Do they want to force them back high ground? Do they want to smoke back across the map here? Or they can just split off and try to get as much as they can and farm the map. We'll have to see, as smoke is the choice.
Let's see what they want to target with this smoke, as they're still stacking up towards mid, moving around with Shad, just sticking behind the Medusa.
Yeah, they think that Quest is smoked right now with the way they're moving.
A mine does explode, so that does give a bit of an indicator. Something is going on in the triangle. That's a lot of noise they're making, so this stealth mission is going to be unsuccessful. Somebody alert the guards. Who is the guard?
Well, that's okay. They're still ahead of net worth. They're gonna take the tier 2 middle. Daedalus, we now have money for it on our Medusa and 150 gold.
Amar does what he can, focusing down the tower. Will come at a cost of his life by the looks of it, but he gets the trade to be successful. And Noob has found Shad, but the rest of them are a bit too far away to join in and group up. Meanwhile, Kaori's going to be splitting the wave. Just a fast arcane curse and instant TP away is like, nope, I'm not staying here.
Yeah, he's playing a lot different hero. We're seeing quests. I feel like Kaori is a big part of the team and how they like to play. If he's playing like a Phoenix, which he looks the best on, and is able to push out the waves, it looks a lot better than having this global presence that they've gone to twice in a not in a row, but they've gone this twice now, and it doesn't seem like it's necessarily Quest style. They just want to dodge. They kind of want to farm a lot, and this is a team fight hero.
And yeah, instead of Kaori just building items that help your team, like you've got the Pavis, you already have Global Silence. That's pretty much everything you need from this hero. He's lining up a halberd against this Medusa. Could just be the right decision. I mean, no sheep stick this time. I think he's given up on those dreams since the last Silencer game.
I mean, a wise choice.
Oh, that was so close to connecting. Theolicore was pixels away from breaking the Timbersaw teleport there in front of the old Roshan pit location.
Maybe he should consider buying some phase boots. That might be the difference changer in a couple of these. I mean, he did. I understand going for the Shadowblade Rush, drums, great items. But maybe phase boots now could be good, but looks like he has no interest going into BKB next, and going into Kaori next he is for sure going to go down here.
Yep. That Pavis is broken through in half a second. And D1 Hustlers on the hunt for more. They've scouted out Amar, they've scouted out Pango. And potentially looking for some kills here. Noob does get the blink out, but a Rolling Thunder, he's going to have to turn the things around. Medusa is low on mana, but they're going to have to sack the Timbersaw. He's just getting pushed around, but Amar, he's a very tanky boy with that Aghanims, and he's not giving up easily. And he will pop that big damage back around him, but that tankiness is also gone. The barrier has run its course. Quest is going to lose a big core, and Shad just marching onto the high ground like there's nothing in his way. Also charging Noob. Is he going to TP away? This one doesn't work out. Theolicore is going to be canceling it out, and he's got backup on the way too. Zantic, Hakoda, Arrow. Okay, that's not gonna connect. Noob taking the portal away, but the Remnant's gonna catch
Nice
him.
try. I mean, he died there. He has buyback. I think he actually saved his barracks from going down there by buying that time. It might come at a cost of his buyback, but the Aegis is now out.
It is
Amar
a
will be up in 20 seconds. Yeah, and then there is buyback available. Might be an expensive hold, but I think it was well worth it so far. We'll have to see.
For the greater good, for sure, and Kaur is just dissimulated on the high ground. And Omar is also going to be focused down, pushed back with the vacuum, has to Yule himself to keep himself alive for a bit longer, but this Medusa doesn't give two hoots. He's just going to right-click him down, and Omar body blocking Shad, but it's not going to be enough, and Omar coming in with the buyback. Maybe they can fend them off with just 3 heroes. Medusa is on the run, and that Zantic's also spent on resources, so forcing out a buyback. It is a support. They don't lose their tier 3 tower. Glyph has been expended, but D1 Hustlers lose nobody. 0 casualties. And a 12k lead.
Yeah, slowly climbing, but I think the itemization now is starting to come online for Quest. TA 2000's been very quiet for some time now, as we've seen the Hustlers just go from tower to tower, taking everything on the map. But we do have the Aghanims online now, which will reduce the power of Medusa, reduce her stats too, so therefore making her easier to kill, taking away a bit of that mana pool. However, will it be enough?
Will it be enough?
Just the Ags, with this Manta and Diffusal, this Dusa is still really far ahead. Now has a Lincoln Sphere, has the money right after this camp, I believe, or Tormentor.
Yeah, indeed.
So they're gonna have to pop that first.
They've basically, like, are you riding just on the hopes of this Aghanims on the Morphling, or is there some other tool that they can find to keep themselves still in this game? Quest, I mean, it's not an impossible task, but it's surely a very difficult one that they've embarked on.
Yeah, I don't know if they embarked on this one. It just kind of has gone that direction after having such a good early game.
Maybe one of the positive things going their way is that the Tormentor Shard goes for Marana, who has probably one of the, I would say, most underwhelming Aghanim shards in the entire Dota universe.
I was gonna say positive thing, huh? Depends on whose side you're rooting for. Yeah. But Spirit already has one. Well, that's the thing. If you say positive, but I don't know if you remember, but Hustlers took Quest Tormentor. Then they went back and got their own. So they got both Tormentors, so they have both shards.
Yep. Marana and Spirit Breaker. Planner Pocket also up. Quest, they're unable to deny that DD rune away from D1 Hustlers, and it is in the bottle for the Void Spirit. Techies does have the Yules to purge it away. Just gonna force it out first. And here we go with the 4-man smoke. And just the Spirit Breaker, who does not need his, will be there in a matter of moments if they are able to find a target off of Quest.
I think you do have the tools as Quest. I think the way you can win these fights is going to be Amar's Aghanims. You saw how tanky he is. If he can catch them by surprise, get in there, bait them into right-clicking him, maybe you have a chance here, as well as the Pangu, who has Aghanims completed. There's a lot of control, there's a lot of sustainability here. You just need to outlast this Medusa and eventually get to a point where you can lock the Medusa down and start beating into her with these Diffusal Blades.
Theolicor is also pinging out that there's a fresh Tormentor that has just spawned on the side of Quest. They could take it away.
That would be the third.
Third shard, yeah.
Might as well. Just control the map, take all the Tormentors, get all the shards, get all the net worth, and we'll see who gets these in a second. And right to Void Spirit. So Aether Remnant, a little bit upgraded, lower cooldown.
Only pulls enemy hero units.
Yeah.
Not a lot of micro on the side of Quest, though. If only there were, you know, Treants and other Eidolons and stuff like that in between, but yeah.
Oh no, Kaori. Again, this man is always behind enemy lines with this silencer. But I think they sniffed him out, or he gets out.
They had an idea, but already hiding in plain sight. Sometimes the best tool.
Really shows the mentality of the team right now. If your silencer's out that far behind enemy lines. Didn't even place a ward or anything. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
Maybe just doing just a mission to get some vision out with his own body.
Dire are scanning.
Building into that halberd. Wonder what their timing is, what they're talking about. Like, what item do we
Good
need?
question.
We got BKB. We got BKB on Morph now. Do we need the halberd on the silencer? Are we waiting for that? Do we need the Hex on Timbersaw? None of these items are coming relatively soon. Perhaps the halberd might if you give Kaori the farm, but no, they decide it's go time. 5-man smoke.
BKBs might just be enough, yeah.
Into Dusa. They see the Dusa.
And the Biolama's right next to him. The smokes are going to be popping, and he's going to be detected.
He got
stunned
Ogre
up
Smash.
on the spot. Okay, Ogre Smash. AI has to help out Quest, but of course, they're playing the PvE game, so might as well hire the Ogres to do the work for them. That
Yeah,
works.
he was like popping his surge there, mid-cast animation. Ogre Smash
And he
stuns
bites
him and
back
secures
too.
it.
Oh, the Biolama. Oh, he needs to get here in time. Okay, that is actually pretty good for Quest. That just got handed out to them. Can they hire another ogre to do their work? Their dirty laundry?
Maybe. But Defy Llama, he needs to make sure that he does not get caught out. He has no buyback.
They're also
Do you have
inside
another
the roach
smoke?
pit.
There's a smoke
Coda.
on techies.
Coda in a pretty good
Whoa.
position, but they're trying to scout out with Morphling illusions to get information,
late.
but this roach is going to be falling already. And there we go. D1 Hustlers, they're going to walk out unscathed with this Aegis and the cheese picked up for Defy Llama. So even if you
I feel like you probably should have tried that, right? If you're Quest.
I guess so, yeah.
But in the end, they didn't. But now you're playing an Aegis Dusa again. With a cheese.
They have
What is gonna
given
stop
into
them?
fear.
Yes, they have.
That is one of the moments when you start losing a Dota game. Your
Fear always wins.
fear always wins, indeed. And we do have the Halberd up in Silencer. Is that the timing? Probably not against the Aegis. The Oliker is going to go all the way for the Silencer, but cancels out the charge just last second.
So, yeah, I can imagine being on the team. Hold on, guys. We can't fight till I get this halberd on my silencer. All right, it's go time, boys. Aegis cheese, no problem.
Putting a lot of value on Kaori for that one. He is a tanky silencer at least. He will be able to, you know, you can't have 1k, 1.2k HP supports in a Medusa game. Like, they're just going to get obliterated by that split shot. You might as well build some tanky items as well on your supports to able, because compare the HP between techies and silencer. Pretty big difference between the two, but techies is Yules, which allows him to stay alive.
The Yules is mainly, I think, to just mess with Spearbreaker. We've seen Spearbreaker so far. This game, I'm not calling the game or anything, but it's won the first 2 games.
Pop Lincoln's off of Shad, but
I think you go
quite get
now.
close enough.
It's go time. Rolling Thunder's down. You got Aegis, you got Cheese. Up to the high ground we go. Or so I hope.
Yeah, the Biolama is summoning the troops with throat singing once again and just chilling on the low ground for now. See if they can force out Quest from their high ground position. They're in for a big fight. If Quest can hold this, the game still lives on for, who knows how long. K2000 almost getting caught there by the Spirit Breaker, but Medusa's already dropping very low on mana. Here we also get the catch on Amar the Fouquet. He also gets his way out until they get the lockdown in. They're limited on that lockdown section as well inside of D1 Hustlers, so they will not get the catch on him and the fight resets.
And so the game rages on, it looks like. And interesting enough, Shad has a disperser queued up. Indeed, interesting. But he's low mana right now, but he's still got the Aegis.
Yeah,
but you have all your spells back online if you're a Quest. They did a good job holding that.
Oh, Kaori.
Kaori.
Yeah, he's the public enemy #1.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, His item build I do like, since you were talking about it earlier. This is much better than rushing a Hex. The Halberd will be useful at some point for sure versus Medusa. The Pavis, that's a cheap item. You got it for the early game. Fortunately, it didn't have a lot of value, but it does make you slightly more tanky across the board just by having it.
You'll love to see it as well, but there's a relic for Adzantic, and he's finished off the nullifier on this Void Spirit, so he's pumping a lot of damage on this hero too. They have so much burst potential now on the side of Hustlers, not just relying on the Medusa right clicks.
It's definitely good, especially when you're playing versus heroes like Pango. You can just keep getting rid of that shield crash buff. It's just nice to have. You can get rid of the, I think you can get rid of Pavis and stuff.
We found Noon.
And
I have to
peace
away.
out.
Yep, peace out. No Spirit Breaker nearby. And a bit of FPS
Normally,
drop.
You literally see a nullifier in pretty much every game nowadays just because of how many... It's not that you really want this item because it's good for your hero and the stats it gives you. There's just so many good support items in Dota right now that it feels like you just need a nullifier at some point to get rid of them. You got like your Crimson Guards, your Force Staff, Glimmer Capes, Pavis, and tons of abilities too. Quest doesn't have a lot of them though this game, so this isn't the best nullifier game.
Do you think that's a good thing that the meta is shifting into more nullifiers being built compared to the last patch?
It's like a necessity. Is it a good thing? It really depends. It's good that it's in the game because it gives you an option to deal with a ton of items in the game that you otherwise couldn't deal with. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, nullifier is nullifier. It is what it is. It does a lot of damage. It dispels things. But nobody really... People want to buy like the butterflies and Daedalus, more of the greedy items.
I guess with the nullifier, it also kind of adds that... It sounds weird to say, but that sixth hero into your team because you don't need to pick these dispeller because you don't need to pick a dispeller hero into your draft. So nullifier kind of fills in that void. I'm not talking about the void spirit, but the void that was lacking of dispels in your team. It's always been about roots and stuns and maybe Yules, maybe we purge from time to time with the creep. Maybe Doom picks that up, but having these nullifiers in the build kind of adds in from the lack of the spells from a hero that you normally have, like say Oracle, LC, Abaddon.
Yeah, well, we saw last game. They tried to make the Shadow Demon work with that dispel. Shadow Demon is basically a nullifier, but why pick Shadow Demon when you can just have one of your cores build a nullifier at some point in the game? I think that's what the Hustlers realized, and instead picked more high-profile heroes like the Spear Breaker, who has been dominating in all 3 of the games today here in this series.
We'll see if that game 3 is also going to lead into a dub or not. But at the same time, Quest smoking out from their base, looking for these tier 4 tokens to start things off with, hoping to catch somebody off guard in the triangle, but there's nobody around. And at the same time, Hustlers, no more Aegis, and just the cheese for Shad. Live 44 Stout. They want to keep that tier 3 tower up and running for as long as possible, but that creep wave is about to destroy it. However, Kari is going to snatch the aggro. Let that tower live for a little bit longer, but the next push is going to be taking it down. No more glyph for Quest.
And you can see with Quest here, they don't have any tidings. They just don't have any plays. They're just being choked into their base. They would love to take a fight on their terms, but the Hustlers, they're just not giving it to them. They're playing the map very nicely this time around. They're just going to keep farming it up, keep building this advantage, maybe wait for another Aegis, why not? And just take it to the late game here. But you don't want to take it too late, I think. Because if you get to the point where Moore starts getting 6-slotted, Timber gets that second chakram and starts getting 6-slotted as well, this Dusa is going to feel like she's lost a lot of power.
Yeah, and Quest also gained a big spike with that on the vice versa. Noob is gonna have to throw his ult as the Olikar just forces it out with the Charge of Darkness. And D1 Hustlers again, they force out one ult, but what else can they benefit from this? Does that lead them into a high ground ticket or not? 1 minute, still on cooldown for the Pango, does have the Spell Prism, so reduces at least a bit of that cooldown.
For now, and Amara getting close to that Scythe of Ice. These illusions look so annoying. Like, Amar's been trying to kill them the best he can, but he can't break through the mana shield on the illusions here. Which means Medusa's going to be able to cut every single wave that she wants to.
Still playing for the XP game on the side of Quest, so as long as things are going this way, I think they are pretty happy. But what is going in the minds of D1 Hustlers right now? Because you already mentioned that they don't want to stretch it necessarily too far into the game. So is it just like, you know, small steps forward? But what is the real end game target here? Hope that Quest heroes are found outside of the base that allows them to enter the high ground, force out a buyback? Is that the thing that they're really looking for here?
Yeah, I mean, you're Dota players. You're not really looking at 30 minutes into the future here. You're kind of looking into just playing the map properly, waiting for Roshan, holding ground, and then when the Quest make an opportunity or make a move, you're ready for it to exploit it.
Quest has left the base, so maybe this is the chance. The Wisdom Rune also
Hakoda's warding is on point.
A lot of experience for them, and Hakoda will get the arrow to get onto the Timber Saw. Beautiful four-man charge coming up with Theoliker as well. Tiki's going to be in trouble, but Noob's going to be the one to fall first. And coming in with the buyback as well. Maybe they can turn around for the kill onto the Spirit Breaker. He's going to be dropping low, but is he going to drop low enough for the kill? As that Yules will buy some time. Still going to get bashed up as well, but Amar in the middle just causing a lot of havoc, but Santek's going to be sniping him away, and Hakoda controlled by Noob, or Noob trying to control him in the back as the Violama is still running rampant, but they will get the kill for TA2000, and the carries are still up, and a buyback coming in from Theoliker as well. He's about to rejoin the fight. Charge is available. But Quest, are they resetting for the time being? Amar, Noob buying back, and Theoliker only from the side of the Hustlers. There's no darks here, though.
TA2000 is proving to be quite the nuisance in these fights, turning into the Medusa. I think if they can keep this up and have buybacks available, they might find that one fight where they can kill this Deuce, and the game could break open, but they're still down 22,000 gold. This smoke needs to connect.
And they are on point with the vision as well. They've scouted out Void Spirit is around the area, but they're not feeling too confident going behind that tier 2. Even right on the edge of vision. Just can't get there.
Koda's in an awkward territory here. Don't go back through the gate, my friend. It is a trap.
It is indeed a trap. Just chilling there.
You can always TP to the tier 2 bottom there if he wants to rejoin his comrades. But Roshan, it is spawning in 48 seconds.
Quest is in control of it. Now the portal's activated. Hakoda is going to go through.
Hakoda run in.
Still leaps away. And Noob can't get the stuns to connect. Not a single bash onto the Mirana. And now they're going to take the portal to the other direction. So Quest is out of here.
Yeah, they're expecting, like, even if Roche spawned right now, they're just banking. They can't kill Roche within this time frame. 30 seconds, he's going to run back to the Dire side, and guess who's waiting for you there? This could be absolutely crucial for Quest here to get this fight.
D1 Hustlers, one option for them, which we have seen West European teams do, is they know they're there. They could try and force them back.
Can they make it in time?
I mean, that's
3,
an option.
2, 1. Roche is up. Do you want to go for it right immediately?
Yeah, he spawned at the bottom half of the map, and now he's on his way.
He's running.
And they're only halfway through the map, but they have a DD on Shad, which could be a big difference maker. And here comes Roche. Lincoln's already popped, and they will start him off, and he has already taken 2,000 HP, 3,000 HP down, almost down to 50%. They're going to get it first. Quest's not going to make it in time. This Roche is being rapid-fired down by Quest, and only now are the Hustlers showing up, so they've recovered the Aegis. And they also get themselves a cheese as a bit of a reward on top of that, too. So this is big for Quest, and D1 Hustlers, they're forced into a fight, most likely. Hex from the Darkseer, or onto the Darkseer. Charge coming in from Theoliker. They've got Noob controlled. Aeon Disc will be popping. The Remnant catches Timbersaw from a mile away. Shaq with a beautiful ulti, and Timber down. MR's going to be falling, and it's something on the chase, looking for more. TA2000 has to BKB. Is he just going to teleport away? Looks like he will, but is the damage going to be sufficient? They don't get to hit him on time, and Omar is going to be TP'ing out. Kaori, however, not going to be as lucky, but at least they get to keep the Aegis.
at the end of the day, they're still up 22,000 gold before that fight, Aegis or not. I'm glad with that little bit of time left on the DD, they chose to still take that fight. I think if you just let them get away with that Aegis and stall this game out, that would have been bad news for you as Hustlers. So super happy that they manned up there. That was the correct play to do. And now you've got no Timber for 70 seconds. What can you do with this? We saw Amar. He tried to get that Hex off on the Darkseer, but Darkseer already had the Surge applied. So was able to run back to safety and re-engage on top of it. And without that Hex being up, I feel like if you are Quest, you need every single tool available at your disposal to win these fights. Not to mention the Pango roll. A bit premature yet again here.
And at least they get the push here. T2000 going to be hexed up as well, but this Morphling still in Medusa form for the time being. It's going to be all right with all that control that they're doing, but is the damage going to be sufficient? Noob coming into the rescue as well. No Timbersaw for 40 seconds. It's the one hero that they do not have for this defense, and T2000 going to get pushed back again. Arrowed up as well. That might just be enough, and that's going to be the Aegis gone. Omar's going to be dropping as well, and they're yet to deal any real significant damage onto the side of D1 Hustlers, and T2000 is going to go down. Has to buy back to come back to the defense, and they're going to lose another hero. Global Silence being used up on the Silencer, but the Morph's not coming back. Morph is still sticking around in the graveyard.
Think he's gonna wait for Amar to respawn. No point buying back now. Maybe he can get a surprise TP in the back line as Amar goes in.
He has to go now. They're losing members. Vacuum onto Divine Llama. We'll get the double, rightfully so. TH2000 with the BKB, the control is there. Amar, does he have the damage required? Medusa just running away, surged up, and TH2000 stunned up. So is the Pango, and they're just trying their best to work through this Medusa. No mana left, and shatters down. Finally, they take the big raid boss out of the way, but D1H, they're still not done. At Santic trying to make his way out with the Astral Step, and here we go. Medusa coming in with the buyback, TP back into the fight. There goes your Morphling. There goes your Quest lineup potentially, as Noob and Amar trying to make a run for it. They are still keeping this Void alive, but it's not going to be enough from the side of Quest. They're going to lose everything. They're going to lose the series, and D1 Hustlers, that's their first win on the board.
Very impressive. I think going into this match, it would be a fair assessment that everyone thought the D1...